What's going on, ladies and gents, boys and girls, guardians of all ages, Joker back again, once again. And today, people, we have a lot of cool stuff to talk about. So, Polygon released an article containing an interview with Luke Smith and Mark Noseworthy about Armor 2.0. I'm basically going to be reading the important parts verbatim, but a link to the article will be in the description below. So, without further ado, let's dive right in. The article states Armor 2.0 is going to have an energy system. You power up the armor to increase its capacity, which lets you equip more mods. And that's likely what we're seeing here. For those of you just listening, in the Out of the Shadows Vidoc, there was a screenshot where we first saw Armor 2.0, and it had this big blue level bar, and it seems like that level bar will indicate how many mods you can equip. But going back to the article, part of Armor 2.0 is more than just customizing the look and the feel of your Guardian. Bungie will also be doubling the amount of stats in Destiny 2 this fall. Instead of just mobility, resilience, and recovery, there will also be intellect, discipline, and strength, returning from the first Destiny. These stats work like they did in the last game, and reduce the cooldown of players' super, grenade, and melee abilities respectively. Smith also said that the team is widening the range of mobility, recovery, and resilience, but said players will need to wait a bit longer to learn exactly what that means, aka they haven't nailed down what these do yet, and it's still probably in some form of development. Now, this change is interesting because currently we have a bunch of mods that control these exact stats, but things like super mods are a little broken in PvP. So I wonder if, with bringing back these stats, if this isn't a way for Bungie to sort of control those cooldowns again like they did in Destiny 1, putting sort of a hard cap on how fast you can get your abilities back, or at least making it more resource intensive to get gear that powerful. Anyone can go buy a bunch of super mods from Banshee when he sells them. But if this works like it did in Destiny 1 with tier 12 armor, sure, you can max 2 stats out, but you are going to be doing it at the detriment of a third. So there's some real player choice there. Anyways, getting back to the article and more on how mods work, Luke Smith had this to say. Smith gave an example of using specific mods to make life easier. I like hand cannons, said Smith, so I might put 2 hand cannon reloader mods on my gloves that stack and work together. Players who want to improve specific abilities like increase their reload speed with hand cannons have that option with 2.0. In terms of how much more powerful players can expect Armor 2.0 to make them, Smith and Noseworthy said that's a conversation the team is still having internally. We're going to be introducing new mods to the pool for you to chase, said Smith. The team is still working on the details of how many mods they'll add and how powerful they'll be, but the team wants players to feel like their power is growing as they evolve their armor. Now, this mod or perk chase kind of already exists in the game, but I like the one that they're describing for Armor 2.0 much better, because I'm not sitting here running raids all day long, trying to get enhanced hand cannon loader on a set of gauntlets I don't even like the look of, with secondary perks I could give a flying fuck about. Now, I'm just chasing one mod, and I can use that on any piece of armor I want, provided I can slot it. This is a really great change, and honestly, I could see them doing something like this with weapons in the future, where instead of trying to farm a god roll over and over and over and over and over again, you're farming for perks, so when you do get a certain weapon, you can kit it out the way you want after you level it up. That said, ladies and gents, boys and girls, guardians of all ages, with all of that great news came some bad news. They talked about reworking subclasses. Stating, quote, "We talked a lot about subclass trees," said Smith. "We've certainly heard feedback throughout Destiny 2's lifecycle about those things. Honestly, not doing it this fall. Instead, the team at Bungie decided to focus on separating gameplay and aesthetics of player armor." So that's a bitter pill to swallow, but not an unexpected one. In other articles, Bungie has made overtures that Destiny 3 will be the next thing after Shadowkeep. Shadowkeep is Destiny 2's Rise of Iron, and Destiny 2 can only get so big before the file size is ridiculous. And it's already kind of getting there, and it's already causing problems for the game. So with Destiny 3 likely around the corner, it doesn't make a lot of sense to redo all the subclasses from the ground up. More so for a game that's basically going to be dead in a year when the sequel comes out. And I know what you're thinking.
But Joker, why change the armor now then?
Well, that one's likely easier. Also, it's probably a beta test for the armor system in Destiny 3. On top of that, if Destiny 3 is going to be more MMO, they really need to show us something tangible right now to back up those claims that they want Destiny to be an MMO. Going in and changing the armor this way does that. Because currently, if we're being honest with ourselves, Destiny isn't an MMO. At best, it's a first-person shooter with extra steps. Calling something an MMO doesn't make it an MMO. You actually have to take steps to do that, and that's what it looks like Bungie's doing here. So yeah, the subclass thing is a bitter pill to swallow, but not a completely unexpected one. But at least the armor sounds really great. The only thing that I really want to know is how's this going to work? How is the transition going to work? Are we going to have another case of year 1 gear and year 2 gear? Or will this change happen with all armor like it happened with weapon slots? And if we're doing this for the cosmetics of armor, will this system be on blues and greens? Because there's some really cool blues and greens out there, but you can't use them. Not really. Because they don't have a power level, you can't infuse them, and they don't have as many perk slots, so they're useless. But anyways, ladies and gents, boys and girls, guardians of all ages, those are just my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comments below, and like always, stay frosty.